Good morning, magic makers. Hey, I have had a process going on for about 2 weeks now, and I want to share it with you because I feel like we're all going through stuff. And so I'm going to share my version of this stuff and see if there's anyone else that wants to share theirs or has had some of the similar kind of things going on. And maybe we can start a dialogue, maybe not, who knows, but maybe somebody needs to hear this. And so here we go. Almost 2 weeks ago, I was in my home, kind of doing the mundane thing. Really wasn't planning to have this experience or anything, and it just sort of happened. I suddenly, and it was sudden because it was just an emotion that came over me. And it was just around the full moon and release of the full moon, right around that time. And I had this emotion, this grief that hit me that I miss my old life. I miss my old life. I miss the life before COVID, before 2020, before masks, before social distancing. I miss my life before having all the knowledge of going down multiple rabbit holes this year and finding the truth about child trafficking and sex trafficking and terrible things like adrenochrome and the globalists, and the list goes on. I realized that although some of those things have empowered me through 2020 and brought me to the place that I'm at, I was really grieving my old life. So I let some tears fall. And I guess I just kind of started going on with my life, like recognizing that that's the thing. So Tuesday of this week was the dark moon, and I have been feeling called to do dark moon ceremonies since about September. And the first one was going to be Friday, October 13th, and masks, social distancing time, who knows what. And then I actually got it out onto a page for November. And I canceled it because right then the governor had said, no more than 10 and all these restrictions again. And I let myself get defeated. And there was a fine, and I didn't want my friend whose business I was using, Trudy at Omnipresence, to have any trouble for her business. And we broke into 2021, and Trudy and I had a conversation, and both agreed that it was all right to just go ahead and start living our lives again. So on Tuesday, I held this ceremony in the evening, but in the morning time, something very unexpected happened for me. And I went to see Penelope Bateman. She is my massage therapist who does a structural realignment and really deep work. And it was the day we were going to work deep into my stomach. So if any of you have ever had that done, you know how much that can bring up. Well, the whole the whole saying that I've got a knot in my stomach, knots in my stomach, that's really real, because the knots in my stomach were so painful, and the discomfort after about 1 hour or so of working on my stomach, she says, it's just getting blocked. We need to move to your legs. So she starts in on the outside of my left leg, which for the past several months has been fine. But as soon as she started into it, whoa, I had to start breathing the connected breath and humming. This is a process that I do to assist me through that discomfort until to open up and release. And as I was doing that, I just kept hearing, I'm in resistance, I'm in resistance, I'm in resistance. And say it out loud was I love it when there's one hair hanging there. Sorry. Say it out loud came to my mind. And so I said out loud, I am in resistance. And she started talking with me and things. And I was like, no, I just need to say it. I'm in resistance. And then I could go into my inner process and start figuring out what I'm in resistance about. And I went back to that time 2 weeks ago where I was grieving my life. And the resistance that I've been feeling, I was surprised at, because I am so much water in my astrology chart that I was surprised to see me putting dams and blocks all through my whole body. And that's exactly what I had been doing. Damming and blocking and resisting and not flowing. I'm not even for sure how long it's been. Other than I think all of us have some resistance to what we are going through right now. But mixed in with that was some fear and things like that too. But it was this resistance. So I was kind of unclear about it, but happy that I got that information so that when I was talking at the dark moon ceremony, I could share and explain some of that to assist others to get into their shadows. So before I tell you more of how this process went, I'll tell you about the dark moon. The dark moon is the first day of the new moon phase. It's when there's no moon in the sky whatsoever. And some people want to jump from, and I've done this, I want to jump from the full moon release and moving into letting go of all that stuff, and then just jump right into like my new project with new moon, right? So this time with being called by the goddess to do and provide a dark moon ceremony space, it was different because I was doing the work just by simply declaring a Lilith dark moon. And I called in 4 dark goddesses. Now, remember, our moon is about our emotions. So the moon, when we go through these phases, is pulling us into our emotional body. And our emotional body is the fuel. It's the fuel to our actions in life. It's also the fuel to our shadows. So facing the shadows in the dark moon is what the theme is. I'm sorry, I have to keep clearing my throat. Whatever, it's morning, I guess. So facing our shadows in the dark moon, I called upon 4 dark goddesses. I called upon Lilith, I called upon Circe, I called upon Kali, and I called upon Hecate. And I called upon the divine light from above to guide us through our dark shadows. And I called upon the divine darkness through the ancestors from below to safely store and receive the release of our shadows. And we went through and we did a ceremony that was beautiful and fun and engaging and everything. Okay, so Wednesday morning, yesterday, I wake up and I'm just pissed because I'm thinking we released stuff, and now I'm understanding that we stirred the Diaso will, we stirred the magic, and we brought it up for us. And it's important to rest after you do this type of thing. I didn't have the day off by any means. I did rest well that night, but we stirred the Diaso will, the Widdershins will, the backward will. We stir and we bring up this darkness. Our shadows are the governing force, the unseen force of our choices and our reactions to life, and they're fueled by our emotions. So if our emotions are like mine were, in resistance and stuck and blocked, then I'm not able to express my life the way that I really want to. None of us are. So I woke up yesterday morning, I was pissed, I was mad, I was sad, I felt depressed, I felt no point. I felt a lot of things that I didn't expect to wake up and feel. I'm going to try and clear this one more time. Obviously, there's stuff I need to speak. Here we are. Okay, so I wake up and I'm looking at the state of the world, and I honor whomever you voted for and whoever you believe in. For me, I believe in a conservative President Trump. I have done a lot of research on the globalists. They frighten me. And so yesterday, I had one of my liberal friends from Boston, who we did an online course together for several years, reach out to me and say, I know there's a lot going on in the world right now. I just want to check in and see if you're okay. And it was a beautiful thing that he did, because it sparked me to get into why I'm not okay. And I replied, honestly, I'm angry. I'm scared. I'm scared that we're losing our freedom in this country, in the world. I'm frustrated that 50% of this country can't see or won't see what's going on, how history is repeating itself. We're so close to communism, it's not even funny, and that scares me. I don't see anything beneficial to people throughout history to live in a socialist country, a communistic country or regime. There's nothing about it that is appealing to me, and so I'm scared. So it was the moment that I realized the dark moon was doing her work. She was bringing forth all the things that I'm in resistance to. And it gave me an opportunity to honor myself and to say these things out loud. I'm scared for our country. I'm scared for our freedoms, for the loss of them. For me personally, I'm 55. Whatever life's going to be, I've had a good life. We have kids and grandkids who may not have the same opportunities. And that's what I felt. And that's my resistance. I don't know what all this brings, but I can tell you something I've been feeling for a while. I've been feeling that the chaos that we thought we were in for 2020 was actually the calm before the storm. We've just welcomed in a new age, the age of Aquarius. And I understand that things have to break down and go through chaos in order to create a new. I get that. It doesn't scare me any less. And I never want you to think that being brave means not being scared. I'm brave and I trust how this is going. But I got to honor that space that I'm afraid, I'm scared, I don't know, I can't predict. Except for that, I have had this strong imagery that 2020, although transformational and transitional as it was the calm before the storm. And 2021 through mid-2022 is going to be the storm. It's going to be very stormy. I don't know what that means or why. About halfway through 2022, we surrender. We're tired. We're tired of the fight and we surrender. And I don't feel like that it feels like we surrender to darkness by any means. We come together. We learn something, how to respect and honor each other. The surrender has more to do with people with oneness. Stopping the chaos. I think we'll all have our own individual and we'll have collective chaos. And we'll have some good times, we'll have some rewards, and we'll have some learning. I don't want to sound like a doomsdayer. I'm not that. It's not what I'm saying. I am saying prepare your heart, prepare your emotions, do your work. Do your work because you're going to have to face yourself. I'm having to face myself. I am facing myself. Shadow work is something I'm not afraid of the shadows because it's when I get the breakthroughs that I feel the freedom and I feel the light. And by avoiding the shadows, we avoid the gifts. We avoid our light. So about 18 months, so 2022, halfway through 2023, And then the imagery that I get is that the sun shines in 2024. Something breaks through, and it feels light and it feels good. But prepare yourselves. Do the work. If you want to come to my dark moon ceremonies, they're once a month on the dark moon. The next one is held at Omnipresence. The next one is on Friday, February 12th. And 7:30 p.m. we start on time. Till 9 p.m. we end on time. It's cold. You dress warm. It's free. Bring a blanket, bring a chair. Bring yourself ready to do your work. It's powerful. It's very powerful. And if you can't make it to a dark moon ceremony, then honor yourself and do your own dark moon ceremony. Get into your shadows. Allow the dark goddesses to guide you. The dark goddesses are called dark goddesses because they've done things throughout their time to bring about transformation and change, to show people who they really are. They're powerful, and it works. So thank you. Ever since I was having that emotion, I wanted to come share with you, on the descent, on the full moon 2 weeks ago. I wanted to share with you, but I didn't get down here. And then before the dark moon, I wanted to share my experience of working with Penelope and what that was like, but there wasn't time that day. And then right after the dark moon, it felt so amazing. I wanted to come share with you then. And something said, no, not yet. And then I got my real transformation yesterday, my real inner standing, right in here. And this morning, I knew it was time. It was time to bring this message to you and to reassure you that everything turns out okay. But prepare yourself. Prepared, not scared has been my motto for 2020 and into 2021. Prepared means, its potential will be in our homes. The Biden administration has said anywhere from a 6-week to 100-day lockdown. That's their health minister. That's what he's suggesting. Maybe other things happen, but prepare your home. Have enough food. Have the things that you might need for up to a month in your home, if that's what it comes to, or more. Prepare yourself, most importantly, and prepare your family to be secure in who you are. Do the work. We're out of, time to say, oh, someday I'll do that. Someday I'll get ready. Guys, girls, magic makers, the time is now. The time is now. Do it. Do it. Share with each other what we can do, what we can assist one another in. We're here for each other always. Well, unless we're not, because Facebook gets taken down, you never know. There are other avenues that I'll be posting some ideas on so that we can stay connected. So thank you for taking your time, your valuable time, to listen to this experience of mine. I was trying to label it a lot of things, but bottom line, it was my experience. And I hope you make the time for you to do the work and make yourself a magical day today. Don't let your voice be shut down. Don't stop yourself. Fight through it. Even if it sounds raspy and yucky, fight through what you need to say and speak your truth always. I love you so much. Make it a magical day.